and now chairing the NCIK. Will also be joined by Dr. Helena Musau, who is a consultant radiation oncologist, and she'll be speaking about bridging the gap between the rural and urban areas where access to radiology is concerned, cancer centers, as well as professional services from experts. And we'll also be joined from the Social Health Authority. She's in charge of benefits and claims. Her name is Dr. Teresa John, and she is a neurosurgeon. So please send your questions at Obarrows at Citizen TV Kenya. And the hashtag is The Explainer. But first, the highlights.
I want to promise the people of Mandera, hawa machief lazima warudi nyumbani.
Abducted chiefs must be found, Ruto declares in Mandera as he kicks off his tour of the Northeast.
Niambia wewe Yusuf nikupatie bilioni 2 uende nyumbani, uende upumzike, fanya mambo yako, uwe na security, uwe na mshahara na unaweza simama siku nyingine. Sasa nikajiuliza yule anakupangia mabaya anaweza kukupatia suluhisho ya vile utaishi.
I rejected a 2 billion shilling bribe. Gachagua now claims that President William Ruto offered him 2 billion shillings to resign.
On 23rd December last year, we issued an advisory to the judiciary asking them to publish this information.
Unlawful conduct, bribery, and abuse of power. Ombudsman calls out JSC over 400 unresolved complaints.
The Kimbembe Sub-County Hospital is offering outpatient services to a maximum to around 300 patients per day.
Not so healthy. Senate asked to inspect Kirinyaga's health facilities. I'm joined tonight by our sign language interpreter, Njoki Shege. President William Ruto has pledged to bring back the 5 chiefs who were abducted by suspected Al-Shabaab militia on Monday in Mandera, saying the country will not cede an inch to criminals. As you'll hear now from Emmanuel To, the president, who began his tour of the northeastern region today, tore into his former deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, for, quote, dividing the country along pay slip lines after failing to do so along tribal ones.
His 4-day walking tour of the northeastern region began a few kilometers from the location where suspected Al-Shabaab militants are said to have intercepted a vehicle ferrying 5 chiefs who are on official duty, traveling to Elwak town in Mandera County to prepare the ground for his visit. President William Ruto saying government security agencies led by the Kenya Defence Forces are currently in hot pursuit of the militants and to return the chiefs back home.
Jana, kwa sababu ya kutaka kulete hali ya hofu sehemu hii, ati walienda wakashika machifu wetu. I want to promise the people of Mandera, hawa machifu lazima warudi nyumbani. We have significantly downgraded the ability of the Al-Shabaab to unleash violence to the people of northern Kenya. And we will not stop at anything until we make sure northern Kenya is safe like any other part of the Republic of Kenya.
The president vowing to decimate the militia group which has been raining terror in the region.
Walikuwa wanafikiria ya kwamba wakifanya hiyo maneno walifanya jana ati ndio nisikuje hapa. Mimi sio ati nimekuja Mandera. Nimekuja na Mandera na mimi nalala Mandera. Na ikizidi naweza kulala tena. And we are not going to cede an inch of our country to criminals and those who want to unleash mayhem in our republic. We will go after them, we will deal with them, and we will eliminate them.
The head of state training his guns on the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, accusing him of driving a wedge between the working class and those yet to secure formal employment.
Mara wanataka kutugawanya nani wa mulima nani wa bonde. Mara wanataka kutugawanya nani yako na payslip nani hana payslip. Hawa watu, mimi nawaambia, they have no plan. They have no agenda. They have no ideas. They are leaderless.
The roads that we are building the hospitals that we are building, the electricity we are connecting is not good enough unless the people of Kenya live in peace and unity.
The president also promising to end vetting for residents of the northern frontier counties who have been undergoing mandatory vetting to receive their national identity cards. And as he did in other counties during his trips, President Ruto came carrying a bag of goodies for the region, pledging, among other things, the construction of a 740-kilometer Isiolo-Mandera road, 1.8 billion shillings for 6 markets, and 2.6 billion shillings for electrification in Mandera County. The county is expected to be connected to the grid from Ethiopia. Emmanuel Toh, Citizen TV.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua now claims that President William Ruto offered him 2 billion shillings to resign from his position. Speaking during an interview with Royal Media Services vernacular radio stations Mulembe, Vuka and Sulwe, Gachagua claimed, without offering proof, that the president made the direct offer, which he says he turned down. Stephen Little has the details.
Mulembe hande, Mulembe swa, Mulembe te, Mulembe bia.
2 billion shillings was allegedly offered to get him to resign. Gachagua now claims, saying he rejected the offer.
Na mimi ningesikiza vile rais alikuwa ananiambia nijiusuru, because alikuwa ameniambia wewe jiusuru nikupatie bilioni 2 uende nyumbani, uende upumzike, fanya mambo yako, uwe na security, uwe na mshahara na unaweza simama siku nyingine. Sasa nikajiuliza, yule anakupangia mabaya anaweza kukupatia suluhisho ya vile utaishi?
According to Gachagua, a section of MPs allied to him pushed him to step down before impeachment vote in Parliament. Gachagua further alleges that some members of the National Assembly received 500,000 shillings each, and a section of senators 10 million Kenyan shillings each to remove him from office.
Lakini hakuna mtu amenikataza kusimama. Mimi niko na kesi kotini inaendelea. Uhuru Kenyatta na Ruto walisimama wakiwa na kesi kwa Hague. Katiba ya Kenya iko wazi ya kwamba kama ugali uko na mambo kotini, right yako ya kupigania kiti hawezi ondolewa. Kwa hivyo mimi nikitaka kusimama nitasimama.
The former DP now says they are assembling like-minded parties and individuals to mount a formidable power team that will unseat President Ruto.
Sisi watu ya mlima tuko na record nzuri sana ya kusaidia watu. Tumesaidia William Ruto. Tukisaidia Eugene Wamalwa hakuna makosa. Rais asikasirike. Tukisaidia Matiang'i hakuna makosa. Tukisaidia Kalonzo hakuna makosa. Wakiamua kutusaidia hakuna makosa.
Addressing recent concerns, Gachagua criticized the government over the increasing cases of abductions.
Nilikashifu utekaji nyara na uwaji ya watoto nikiwa naibu wa rais. Siongei sahi, nilianza kuongea mapema.
Gachagua described the current government, which has incorporated some opposition parties into the cabinet in the name of broad-based, as a failure, claiming that little has changed since this inclusion of the new team. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
Over 700 cases of maladministration by the judiciary have been reported in the last 5 years, with 60% of those cases yet to be resolved. This is according to the Office of the Ombudsman. The complaints implicating magistrates and judges and relate to unlawful conduct, bribery and abuse of power by a section of judicial officers. Seth Olale with more.
The number of complaints against the efficiency of the judiciary stand at 700, having accumulated within the past 5 years alone. A report released by the Office of the Ombudsman reveals that 398 cases, representing 57%, are pending, while 302, representing 43%, have been resolved.
To have the Chief Justice.
In addition, there are a total of 449 delayed cases, 91 of them attributed to inefficiency.
There is a complaint against the judge who upheld a lack of jurisdiction in a commercial case, but proceeded to award a counterclaim of 59 million in the same ruling.
The Ombudsman expressing frustration over the handling of the matter by the Judicial Service Commission.
On 23rd December last year, we issued an advisory to the judiciary asking them to publish this information. The response was very flattering. They sent somebody to write to us that, one, they're independent, and two, they said we addressed them through social media, which is not the case.
The Commission on Administrative Justice maintains that it is working within its mandate to put the Judicial Service Commission on check and to ensure that complaints raised by members of the public are resolved quickly. Seth Olale, Citizen TV, Nairobi County.
60% of Kenyan businesses do not expect to grow their workforce in 2025, reflecting a more pessimistic outlook for the year. This, according to the latest Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry Business Barometer report. The trend raises concerns about unemployment, as slow job creation could further strain an already struggling labor market. Dennis Otieno has the details of this and other key highlights of the report.
In its fourth Business Barometer report, which gathered responses from nearly 2,000 businesses across the country, KNCCI highlights a mixed outlook for Kenya's private sector in 2025, with 60% holding back on hiring. Key sectors such as retail, wholesale and mining show little optimism for hiring, citing a challenging business environment.
At the end of the day, businesses have to match whatever deductions that are being made to the employee. Now, this means that the cost of doing business, the expenses, increase for these particular businesses. Then their ability to hire more people with increased costs, is not likely.
Economic experts warn that continued caution in business expansion could worsen youth unemployment, putting additional pressure on household incomes and economic stability.
Because of the shrinking disposable income that has faced the businesses and also individuals over the last 1 or 2 years or so, that has also trickled into the numbers that we're seeing. The 65% of the businesses are not able to expand their workforce.
While most sectors remain cautious about hiring, education and energy sectors are the most optimistic about workforce expansion in 2025. Despite weak hiring projections, 65% of businesses anticipate modest revenue growth.
Most of them are expecting to leverage technology. Also, most of them are seeing positivity in terms of the macroeconomics. We are seeing positive changes on the interest rate, on inflation, and we hope that will continue throughout the year.
However, optimism has declined compared to late 2024, with 24% of businesses expecting stagnation or revenue declines, citing high costs of living and an unfavorable regulatory environment as major obstacles.
The policies that have been implemented the last couple of years have been quite prohibitive onto the businesses, and also some of the statutory deductions, they have been quite high, and which has now led to the businesses facing lower disposable income.
As Kenya's business landscape evolves in 2025, the findings from this report provide crucial insights for policymakers and business leaders alike. Experts reckon addressing taxation burden, regulatory inefficiencies and capital constraints will be key in unlocking the full potential of the private sector. Dennis Otieno, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Looking sharp, Dennis. The Kirinyaga senator is now asking Senate's Health Committee to investigate the poor state of health facilities in the county. The senator says the county's healthcare facilities are in a poor state, endangering the lives of residents. Brenda Wanga has the details.
The physical outwards appearance of this hospital in Kirinyaga County perhaps an indicator of the state of affairs. Residents of this area and the larger county have decried what they say are poor services offered, not just here but in many other centers in the county. The area senator now saying that the healthcare situation warrants the Senate's attention.
Tumefika mahali ambapo watu wa Kirinyaga wako afadhali wakati wanaenda kutafuta huduma za matibabu katika wale watu wanatumianga mitishamba ama madaktari wa kutumia dawa za kienyeji.
The senator has now invited Senate's Health Committee to visit the county's health facilities. Senator took issue with what he says is the rot in health facilities from level 1 to level 5, as well as a demotivated and demoralized healthcare workforce.
Chemist, kemia za kuuziwa mandawa watu binafsi ndio inakaa kama akona pesa na wako na dawa kuliko serikali za ugatuzi.
The complaints about the state of healthcare in the county have been running from as late last year, where patients complained of lack of adequate facilities in the hospital as well as lack of medicine and medical supplies. The county, however, says the situation is improving by the day.
Patient capacity right now is about 120 bed capacity, and with the new medical complex we will be able to double that number, and they will be assured that they can serve above 200 patients in their inpatient services.
Residents of Kimbimbi area, one of the facilities affected by poor services, are set to protest on the 7th of this month to press the county to act. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
New NSSF rates have kicked in as of February 1st, meaning that your February payslip will reflect new deductions according to the updated NSSF Act. Both employers and employees are expected to contribute 6% of the employee's gross salary, with the new upper limit set at $4,320. Despite the backlash from many Kenyans, KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli has doubled down, saying that NSSF is not a tax, but a vital savings mechanism for ensuring workers retire with dignity. Melito Letenges has that report.
Salaried Kenyans are bracing for increased deductions on their payslips as new NSSF contribution rates take effect this month. The minimum contribution is rising from 420 to 480 shillings, while high-income earners will see their deductions jump from 2,160 to 4,320 shillings. For instance, a Kenyan earning 50,000 shillings monthly will now pay 480 for the first tier and 2,520 for the second tier. The upper income limit has been increased from 36,000 shillings to 72,000, while the lower limit will rise from 7,000 to 8,000 shillings. The increased deductions have sparked outrage, with many Kenyans complaining about shrinking payslips since President William Ruto took office, from the 2.75% of SHA deductions to the 1.5% housing levy, and now this latest NSSF deduction. But KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli has defended the changes, calling the backlash a setback to much-needed reforms. Atwoli says the NSSF isn't a tax, but a mandatory savings scheme designed to protect workers in retirement. His statement reads in part, "Sadly, many of those criticizing NSSF are already guaranteed superior pensions or income from their numerous business ventures." Atwoli stresses that NSSF's mission is vital in combating old age poverty, adding that Kenya lags behind its East African neighbors in social security contributions, pointing to Uganda's 15% and Tanzania's 20%. The debate over Kenya's rising tax burden has intensified into a full-blown political battle. Supporters of President Ruto argue that the taxes are necessary for national development, while the opposition and many workers and professionals see them as a crippling financial burden, with nearly 50% of their salaries now going to the government. Melita Oletinges, Citizen TV.
President William Ruto is set to co-chair a joint summit of the Southern Africa Development Community, SADC, and the East African Community in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania on Saturday. And the point of that is to address the ongoing conflict in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The summit aims to facilitate dialogue between key stakeholders, including DRC's President Felix Tshisekedi and his Rwandan counterpart Paul Kagame, to find a peaceful resolution to the crisis. The situation in the DRC remains tense, with reports of ongoing fighting and a deteriorating humanitarian situation. In response to the escalating conflict, the U.S. Embassy in Kinshasa has issued a travel alert advising its citizens to leave the country immediately due to security concerns.
A consultative meeting between President William Ruto and Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa has resulted in plans for a joint summit of the South African Development Community SADC and the East African Community EAC over the weekend in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. The summit aims to address the escalating conflict in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. While confirming the schedule, President Ruto stated, and I quote, President Samia Suluhu Hassan has graciously agreed to host the summit to deliberate on the situation in Eastern DRC. According to a statement from State House Nairobi, DRC President Felix Tshisekedi, who was absent from both the EAC and SADC summits last week, has confirmed his attendance. President Ruto also noted that during his discussions with President Mnangagwa, he consulted with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni, and Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. Mnangagwa, as the current SADC chairperson, will co-lead the summit alongside Ruto. The summit will be preceded by a ministerial meeting on Friday before heads of state convene on Saturday. With the conflict in Eastern DRC now entering its second week, the U.S. Embassy in Kinshasa has issued a travel advisory urging American citizens to leave the country immediately. The alert reads, and I quote, the U.S. Embassy in Kinshasa is further reducing the number of U.S. personnel working in the embassy. The embassy advises U.S. citizens in the DRC to depart immediately via commercial means. As tension continues to grip the eastern Congo, M23 rebels have declared a ceasefire to allow for humanitarian intervention. The group has also stated that it has no plans to seize Bukavu, the provincial capital of South Kivu, following its recent capture of Goma, eastern Congo's largest city. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
And that report by Ben Kirui on the situation in the Democratic Republic of the Congo leads us up to our first break on The Explainer tonight. But as I mentioned at the very top of The Explainer tonight, we discuss World Cancer Day. It being World Cancer Day today, we'll address various issues. And on my panel tonight, I have Dr. Timothy Olweny, who is the chair of the National Cancer Institute of Kenya, former chair, SHA, Social Health Authority, and also he has had personal experience with cancer. He'll explain more, his family having been impacted. We'll also have with us on the panel a consultant radiation oncologist, and her name is Dr. Helena Musau. And we'll also be joined by the acting director of Benefits and Claims Social Health Authority. That is Dr. Teresa Tracy John. She also happens to be a neurosurgeon, so please send your questions through at Obarrows at Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag The Explainer. See you on the other side of this break. Without a trace. Agony for the family of a City Hall intern who went missing a week ago.
Mabrother, chekini story fulani la penjuzi mtani record manze.
Lakini bro, kazi itakuwa tu ni kujaza simu na hizi mavida.
Ai, kujinice tu kaka.
Mwananchi gani huyo anarada medalia pesa?
Leta tenje ni kushow vile tutaomoka. Citizen Digital wako na platform fulani kwa site yao inaitwa Wananchi Reporting. Hapa unaweza tuma story yako kwa website yao ama kwa app yao ya Citizen Digital. Na kama hiyo process ni ngumu, unaweza tuma story kwa email yao, WhatsApp number ama uitumie kama SMS.
Alafu gani napataje bro?
After story yako imepublishiwa, hapo ndo una receive 1000 kwa simu yako.
Bro, au umenichanua.
Don't just witness the news, be part of breaking it. Download the Citizen Digital app and share your story with Wananchi Reporting today.
Citizen Digital.
Your Asian adventure awaits na View Travel. Ready to explore? Dive into the vibrant energy of Thailand, stroll through Singapore's dazzling streets, or unwind on Bali's pristine beaches. Discover the rich cultures of Malaysia and Vietnam, the serene beauty of Laos and Cambodia, or the innovation and tradition of Japan and China. Whether for leisure, learning, or business, unforgettable experiences await. Tembelea Asia na View Travel. Visit viewtravel.com, call or WhatsApp 0703 254 254. View Travel. Dream, explore, discover.
Great yummy taste, gotta hack it. I spread bread, pate nguvu, gotta pack it. Napaka nyweki design ya mokoro. Blue Band, Juni natural cocoa. 5 vitamins, una grow plus ni tam nani. One by one, tuna flow with the energy. Dance to the beat, feel the adrenaline. Vibes ni polite. Step into the motion. Tuna hack snack na ki Blue Band choco for your growth.
Explore the nature and create from it. The spirit of inventors leads to the inspiration for new technology. By drawing nature's energy, we create the extraction tech. Small in size, huge in power. Millions of microcapsules condense the essence of nature. Join us, Cleasoft Invent for Life.
When I have back pain, I reach for 2 tablets of Panadol Extra. It's boosted by caffeine for fast relief of strong pain, like headache, toothache, and muscle pain. And I am finally released from pain and ready to be there for those who need me. Try Panadol Extra for fast and effective relief from strong pain.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, SoftCare always stays with you.
New SoftCare Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
SoftCare. Protect your leap.
Africa, a land of unforgiving extremes, where one beast makes its commanding presence felt. Unfazed by this dramatic vastness, this colossal marvel is the symbol of dominance. It is ready to take on any terrain effortlessly, presenting the UD Trucks Questa, going the extra mile.
Thank you for staying with us on The Explainer. The family of 19-year-old Elvis Munene is pleading with the government to find their son after he went missing on January the 29th this year. According to investigators, the Nairobi County IT intern's phone was last detected around Mwalimu Cooperative Building on the 28th. This conflicts with the family's account as they spoke to him and sent him money on the 29th. Ode Francis has the details.
Family and friends have gathered at the home of 19-year-old Elvis Munene, a student and intern at the Department of Information Technology at Nairobi City Hall. January 29th was the last day Elvis was seen by his family.
Kitu around saa 10:20 alinipigia simu akiniomba pesa aongeze ya fare na nikamtumia kitu around saa 10:25. Na kutoka hapo nilipofika nyumbani saa 2 usiku nilipata hajafika.
After his phone went off, conflicting reports emerged between the investigators at Kikuyu Police Station, where his disappearance was reported, and the last moment his mother spoke to him.
Wakamjaribu kumtrack. Ile information walinipatia, mtoto wangu mimi nilituma pesa 29th na niliongea naye 29th, lakini simu wanasema ilizima 28 on a Tuesday.
So we are asking, hii data ya Wednesday iko wapi?
Aliconcentrate aje kujua.
More questions arise as to how he went to work without complete documents, with all his identification left in his room at home.
After looking for him, kwa room yake tulipata ID yake, national ID ya ku access City Hall, na ID yake ya shule ya KCA ziko hapa. So we believe hana document. That's why we are appealing to all officers, mwenye atamuona, serikali tusaidie to locate him and bring him home back.
Through the attendance logbook, it was confirmed that Elvis Munene reported to work on January 29th at 8:05 a.m. but never returned home.
So naomba serikali wanisaidie kumtafuta kwenye yako, ndio mali nimefika, sijui nitamtafuta wapi tena. So naomba serikali ingililie inisaidie kumpata.
While the family remains hopeful for his safe return, the task now lies with the investigators to find Elvis and uncover the reasons behind his disappearance. Ode Francis, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Hopefully Elvis makes it back home safe and sound. The county government of Homa Bay is now looking for partners to assist in the control of tsetse flies, whose population has been on a steady rise over the last 5 years. According to residents of Lambwe Valley, the flies have been multiplying exponentially over the last 3 years and are now ravaging through livestock across the area. And as Laura Otieno reports, a group of women have resorted to making local traps, with the county government scaling up surveillance to stifle chances of the return of sleeping sickness, which was once endemic in the region.
Beneath the scenic Ruma Hills in Lambwe Valley, Homa Bay County, a buzz of bloodthirsty parasites are wreaking havoc. At Seka village, residents have brought their livestock here for a coat of protection from the dreaded tsetse fly, a tiny fly whose population had been decimated over the last 2 decades. However, over the last 3 years, the buzz of the fly has been gaining momentum within Lambwe Valley.
River ambayo inakimbilia mpaka pale msituni. Kufika pale msituni, zinatoa zile mbungu zikipanda nayo milima, zinakuja kwetu mijini. Sasa zinaua mbuzi, zinaua ng'ombe, zinaua punda, hatuna vile tunaweza kulima.
With every spin of this machine, Eunice Omondi is determined to clip the wings of the dreaded tsetse. With utmost precision, she hems these bright blue pieces of cloth. This is a locally made fly trap known as the Ngu trap. The bright cloth is sewn in a conical shape, padded with a porous net and a polythene bag attached to the upper part of the trap. The trap is then sprinkled with cow urine to attract tsetse flies, and a bottle containing acetone placed beneath the trap to slow down evaporation of the cow urine from the trap. Once inside, the flies are suffocated and collected for study by the Kenya Tsetse and Trypanosomiasis Eradication Council. The residents, however, say the demarcation of protected areas is stifling their quest in controlling the flies.
Hii forest inatudhulumu sana kwa wanyama kwa sababu inaleta mbungu mingi na hatuwezi kuingia kuweka targets zetu hapo ndani, hatuwezi kuingia tukafagilia ndani ili iwe safi, ili mbungu isiwe hapo ndani.
Livestock contributes to close to about 20% of the GDP in this country. The amount we require is so much, which is actually beyond the scope of the county. That's why we are seeking for the national support as well as the development partner support.
Scientists, on the other hand, are also developing simpler regimens for the cure of sleeping sickness, including an oral drug, fexinidazole, for the treatment of sleeping sickness. In 2015, 38 countries across Africa reported sleeping sickness. While Kenya only recorded the last case in 2009, the government is operating on high alert, scaling up surveillance in 36 counties where tsetse-fly populations have been reported.
Yeah, we are working closely with KEMRI and other institutions, and we have a channel for communicating such incidences.
The World Health Organization has cleared 8 African countries for having eradicated sleeping sickness. As the competition for resources gets more tense with every passing day due to the harsh realities of climate change, for women of Seka in Homa Bay, they are using what they have one stitch at a time to not only save their livelihoods for now, but hopefully put a clog on the possible return of sleeping sickness in the scenic Lambwe Valley. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
They say necessity is the mother of invention, and the women of Homa Bay have proven just that. 18 miners who were trapped at the Ikolomani gold mines in Kakamega County have been rescued, with the search and rescue mission now looking for 2 miners who are still trapped in the collapsed shaft. The rescue mission began on Monday night, where efforts by local miners were reinforced by security agencies. A total of 20 miners were trapped beneath the collapsed shaft at Museno village on Monday night, with the incident raising safety concerns among miners. In January this year, 3 miners suffocated after yet another mining shaft collapsed in Ikolomani. Thousands of artisanal miners work in gold mines across Ikolomani, Lurambi and Shinyalu sub-counties, often without proper safety gear.
Inafaa wakuje wapeane safety na PPEs. Hiyo itasaidia vijana wetu katika kuweza kujiokoa kwa sehemu zingine. Alafu wapewe training. Sio tu kijana ametoka kule anaingia kwa shimo hajapewa training, apewe training vile ambavyo anaweza kutembea underground.
Hatuoni support ya county government sahi. Kitu yenye tunaona tu ni kupitisha hapa ambulance. Ambulance is after the fact. What we need here is the fire brigade. Iwe imeangusha hiyo mashini yao mpaka chini. It has the capacity to go far deep. It pull people out.
Again, we hope for their safe rescue. We take a break for the business news, which is coming up. But remember our conversation tonight on The Explainer, World Cancer Day. I get into matters cancer, access to healthcare, access to health professionals, and also talking about infrastructure gaps and all of that on the other side of, let me see, the next break. Then we'll get into the conversation. I have Dr. Timothy Olweng. He is the chair, the National Cancer Institute of Kenya, former chair SHA, and he has personal experience. He will share his story, not him having cancer, but having cancer in his family. We also have Dr. Helena Musau, and she is a consultant radiation oncologist. She'll tell us how many they are in the country, what efforts are being made to boost those numbers. And we also have the acting director, Benefits and Claims Social Health Authority, and her name is Dr. Teresa Tracy John, and she's a neurosurgeon. So do stay tuned. Send your questions at obarrows@Citizen TV Kenya. # The Explainer. Taxman receives over 800 anonymous tips related to tax evasion in 2024. And tips led to recovery of over 4 billion shillings.
This Valentine's month, show your love with a special gift from Citizen Duka and Quickmart. Our Valentine's Day hamper is filled with thoughtful treats. 80 grams chocolate at 199 shillings, 200 grams drinking chocolate at 199 shillings, 1 twin pack sanitary towel at 99 shillings, and 1 pack of pocket tissue at 15 shillings. Simply dial *487*5#. Choose your Valentine package, pay, and pick up at your nearest Quickmart. Citizen Duka, your home of discounts.
Duka, the home of discounts.
Stubborn stains, Classic Detergent Powder inakuja na suluhisho rahisi. Inatoa uchafu kwa urahisi, gentle kwa mikono na unaipata kwa bei nafuu. Usiwachwe nyuma. Choose Classic. Ng'ara na Classic.
Mitindo mingi, yote ya big, yote ya kipekee.
When your kids learn to share, you're giving them a great start. Prestige Margarine. It all starts with a great start. Now comes in the original and vanilla flavor.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Can you imagine that? Avoiding having cold ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
Ruiru Mabati Factory offers the best quality mabati at the most affordable prices. With over 10 years experience, our products have 15 years warranty and are KEBS certified. We manufacture box profile, Europe tile, Jenga tile, corrugated S profile among others in a wide variety of colors. Enjoy our free delivery in just 72 hours. To order, call us on 0111 050 700.
Petans Technical College is a technical college that trains hands-on skills in courses such as hotel and catering, making you an expert in 4-star and 5-star hotels, automotive engineering, where we train with modern vehicles. We offer training in electrical installation and plumbing, as well as CCTV camera installation. Travel the world through our certified assistant caregiver course. Enroll with us today on our Facebook page or visit us at Kiambu, Petans Plaza, and in all our branches. Call us today on 0707 490 390.
This is me at Stanbic Private Banking. What does it feel like? It's investing skillfully. It's planning wisely. It's living joyfully. It's banking easily. Visit www.stanbic.co.ke. Stanbic Bank is regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya.
The Kenya Revenue Authority received over 800 anonymous tips related to tax evasion in 2024, leading to the recovery of over 4.3 billion shillings, and that is according to the KRA board chairperson, Nderitu Mureithi. Speaking at a public forum hosted by Bunge la Wananchi at Nairobi's Jivanji Gardens, Mureithi urged Kenyans to continue reporting tax evaders using KRA's anonymous portal, emphasizing that collective vigilance is key to curbing revenue losses. Jimmy Mbogo has the details.
The National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi and the Kenya Revenue Authority Chairperson Nderitu Mureithi have assured the public that there will be no sacred cows in tax collection and revenue mobilization. However, during the public forum, the two officials faced scrutiny over claims that a small segment of compliant taxpayers bear the country's tax burden while others evade their obligation.
Uulize director wa intelligence atuambie what is he doing or she doing to ensure there is no tax evasion in this country, because all of us must pay tax as per the laws of this land.
There is a lot of tax evasion in this country, and people who should be paying taxes. But again, he's shouting arrest. But if you mechanize, if you militarize tax collection, you will not realize your objective.
Mwaka jana mlitupasha habari mara 833, 833 reports that led us to recover 4.23 billion.
CS Mbadi revealed that KRA is developing a system to monitor taxpayers more effectively, particularly those under declaring rental income. He also emphasized the need for a realistic revenue projection to curb excessive government expenditure.
But this we can only achieve if we also become realistic on what targets we give KRA. Like this year, 25-26, if you saw the budget figures, we are projected to collect ordinary revenue 3 trillion and 18 billion. It is impossible. I have asked the team at the Treasury and we have done that. We have revised it downwards to 2 trillion 835. We must start from realistic revenue so that we don't spend what we don't have.
To inject liquidity into the economy, the government is set to clear pending bills, prioritizing suppliers owed less than 10 million shillings. The move aims to revive businesses, spur economic activity, and increase revenue generation. According to CS Mbadi, out of the 663 billion shillings worth of pending bills submitted, 474 billion shillings have been verified, with 90% of the verified bills being below 10 million shillings. Jimmy Mbogo, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Kenya is now making progress in biological research management as it moves towards establishing biobanks. This development is expected to improve research quality, diagnostics, and vaccine production. Through the Kenya Accreditation Service, the country's accreditation body, Kenya aims to set international standards for research and healthcare. This will ensure that Kenyan research and test results are recognized globally without the need for retesting. The body is leading a 4-day training workshop for key research institutions, equipping them with the skills needed to upgrade their labs to meet international standards, especially in the storage of biological material for future research.
We can actually expand the space for research. We can actually expand the space for collaboration, for fundraising for the laboratories that, or the biobanks that will have been accredited, because then they can actually have international reference. It's actually a space where they can actually be able to engage on the global scene, and also then be able to enhance their quality and safety and also the space within which they store their material, the biological material.
So they would bank these tissues for the purpose of diagnosis and later treatment, or for the purpose of further usage, teaching, for research.
If there's a result, for example, from a testing lab here or an inspection body here that has gone through the rigor of accreditation, and that result is meant to cross borders to another territory, there shouldn't be need for that other territory to require for a retest, an inspection, or a certification.
Police officers from the mining unit have seized 5 containers of copper minerals at the port of Mombasa. Authorities say the containers were transported from Nairobi, with the owner intending to export them to China. Investigations revealed the minerals were falsely declared as manganese to evade taxes. Reports indicate they originated from a Nairobi-based factory before being transported by truck to Mombasa. DCI officers, in collaboration with other security agencies, agencies and the Ministry of Mining have launched a probe to apprehend those behind the tax evasion scheme, estimated to be worth billions of shillings.
Manganese is low value compared to copper, and probably the owner doesn't have the requisite document for exporting copper. So he uses the document for exporting manganese to export copper, which is a high value mineral. And copper being a strategic mineral, the only entity to export copper is National Mining Corporation. We have seen that copper ore has been ground into powder and some pellets, and some other investigation is going to be carried out. Some assay are going to be carried out to find out the percentage content of copper ore.
As the planting season begins, farmers in Trans Nzoia are grappling with the rising cost of transporting fertilizer. That is despite its availability at the National Cereals and Produce Board warehouses. Many now having to spend between 150 shillings and 200 shillings to transport a bag. This at a time when some farmers claim that they're yet to sell last year's harvest due to low prices. They're now urging the government to raise maize prices. Last year, the region produced 7 million bags of maize. The Ministry of Agriculture estimates farmers in the North Rift will need over 1 million bags of fertilizer to sustain production this year.
Ingekuwa vyema kama serikali ingeweza kupeleka mbolea hii, kwa sababu zile zinakuja na matrela, ifikishie wale wakulima ambaye itawapunguzia nafasi ya kuingia mfuko yao kutransport mbolea kutoka hapa town mpaka mashambani. Tunajua kwamba mashambani ndio kuna mashamba makubwa ya kupanda, lakini hapa town hatuna mashamba ya kupanda.
Unaweza kuja hapa usimame kwa jua, hata wangetuwekea hata hema ili tuvumilie tuende na mbolea, lakini wanatuweka kwa jua, wengine wanaanguka. Kuna wazee hata zaidi ya miaka 70.
Wangejaribu wawezavyo ili siende waweke kwa sub county ili tusiwe tunapika laini, kwa sababu tulianzia kule mbali kufika hapa, hatujui kama tutapata. Ikiwa lunch time itafika